Hi, hello. Is that okay?
Yep.
I'm Pat Johnstone. I'm a resident in New Westminster, and I am representing the New West Environmental Partners. First of all, this project is great. This building is going to be a landmark. It's going to be an important part of the ongoing redevelopment of Columbia Street. But I'm going to focus all my comments on one aspect of this building's design that is important to the NWEP, and that's transportation. When we think about the how Columbia Street has redeveloped, it's not very car focused, right? It's been successful because it's got the presence of two sky trains. It's got the presence of thousands, of, a couple of thousand residential units within a 10-minute walk of it. We've calmed the traffic on it. We've made it more pedestrian friendly, and it's really come around that street. It's a great place to be now. This building is going to be the foyer going into Columbia Street. So people leaving the SkyTrain station, people leaving Plaza 88, people coming down 8th Avenue, people from the Quayside are going to be coming through past this building to enter this new district. And it's important that the foyer be as pedestrian friendly as possible. So unfortunately, there's a couple little design kicks in the building that don't really represent that very well. 8th Street has to be a pedestrian-friendly block. Currently, the parking garage entrance is facing 8th Street. Directly when you walk out of the SkyTrain station, the first thing you'll face is the gaping maw of the parking garage. 8th Street has a crosswalk that goes through the middle of it that is very popular for people coming and going from the SkyTrain station. It will be more popular when this building is built. The parking garage entrance is going to go right by that. It's going to create a bit of a safety issue for pedestrians. It's going to make it more difficult for drivers to get in and out of the garage. It's just not a really good place to put that design. It's aesthetically not very pleasant. It's probably not the safest place to put it. It's suboptimal. Speaking of suboptimal, the bike route is being redirected. Sort of the end of the Central Valley Greenway is sort of being directed up Begbie Street on the other side of this building. Begbie Street is quite steep. It's over 10% in grade, where 8th Street on the same block is quite a bit shallower. It's about 8% grade. That 2% seems like a little bit, but it's a big deal for cyclists. So the Central Valley Greenway should really connect the easiest way possible to Carnarvon, and that would be on 8th Street. So the solution to both these problems, of course, is to take the entrance garage off of the west side of the building, put it on the east side of the building on Begbie Street, put the cars around back where they're not going to interfere with all this new pedestrian traffic you're creating right on 8th and Columbia. And take the bike route and put the bike route on 8th, make that the end of the Central Valley Greenway, connected to Carnarvon there, connected to the SkyTrain there. Keep that area where you've got the SkyTrain station, you've got Plaza 88, you've got the MUCF, you've got Hayek Square. Get that whole area as pedestrian friendly as possible. Make that the foyer. And finally, since I still have lots of my 5 minutes, I'll put a little bug in your ear about making this designing buildings to accommodate sustainable transportation. This building is located in a great place. It's right next to a SkyTrain station. It's got all these places nearby that you can walk to. It's at the end of the CVG. That will actually be a selling point for businesses in the 21st century, having a building that people don't have to drive to. Their employees don't have to drive to the station. They'll be able to get there in other ways. That's a selling point. So let's not sell it short. Let's make sure this building has adequate bike storage facilities for both the MUCF staff and the office building staff. It has the showering facilities that they need in order to make this make cycling part of their transportation. And not just like the LEED Gold. LEED Gold will say, well, you have to have a shower somewhere. Let's think about what our mode share is going to be in 2040 according to TransLink's plan, and plan for the future. Don't just build it to make an arbitrary standard for today. And also, just stick one more deeper bug in your ear. Let's make this a mode change place. If we could put in this place, right at the SkyTrain station, a place where you can get off of the train and get onto a bicycle. Hey, one of those, an Amsterdam-style bike rental place where you can zap your credit card, get off the SkyTrain, zap your credit card, ride a bike around New Westminster to the New Park, along to the Quayside, to anywhere you want to go around New Westminster. Or even better, a place you can store your bike in lockers from anywhere in New Westminster, ride your bike down there, store your bike at this building, get out of the SkyTrain, go to wherever your work is or wherever you're commuting to. So this place is a great, like I said, kudos. It's a great design. It's a great idea. Let's just do it right. Little details. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Did you get his name?
Mr. Mayor, sorry, I did want to interrupt you, sir, but there is another item of correspondence on table. It is an email from Andrew Feltham commenting on the multi-use civic facility, which is the item under discussion just now.
Thank you. Don't leave for a moment, sir. We've got some questions in a minute. One of the things I did want to mention to you, the mayor of North Vancouver, Mr. Misano, he's purchased a bicycle out of Europe that folds up into a bag that goes onto your shoulder that's as small as a carrying-on computer. And he's going to send us, and we're going to have an email on it in here or a disc. Councillor Cote.
Thank you. I've just, you mentioned a lot of things and a few questions, and I'm just wondering if city staff had any responses.
Thank you, Worship. I can comment on, I think, the two issues that Mr. Johnston's raised. First off is the location of the driveway access into the site, and the project architect may actually want to add some additional comments, but one of the site constraints that we're dealing with on this site is the slope of the site, which slopes from north to south and from east to west. To have a completely underground parkade and to get access, the most efficient location to access is on the downhill slope. So 8th Avenue or 8th Street was chosen over Begbie Street because accessing off Begbie would require a very steep and very long ramp to get down to the parkade because you're going against the gradient. Additionally, the east end of the site is intended to host the theater facility, and to have a sufficient loading bay for the theater, it's been deemed that the 8th, probably the Begbie Street side, is the most efficient way to accommodate that. That loading bay would be a large loading bay intended for large, long trailers, and ideally would be located at the same elevation, same height as the theater, and would actually act as additional storage and swing space for the theater facility. So there's valid reasons for having the principal driveway to the parkade located on 8th Street. With respect to Begbie Street was identified in the downtown official community plan, which was adopted by Council in 2010, as the designated greenway connection between Columbia Street and Carnarvon Street, essentially an extension of the Central Valley Greenway. And there's bike actuators at the traffic signal at that location. That provides a more direct route to the waterfront, Westminster Pier site, etc. So that was chosen as the principal connection point between Columbia and Carnarvon. 8th Street, the cross section is being looked at, and we're looking at that very closely. This time we intend to provide wider travel lanes on 8th Street that would accommodate both cyclists and motorists. We have received communication from the Vancouver Area Cycling Coalition, and we intend to meet with that group and obtain their input. And in addition, the street design will be referred to the Council's Advisory Committee on Bicycle and Pedestrian Issues.
Okay. Any other discussion? Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you coming. Any other speakers to this issue come forward?
Matthew Laird, New Westminster. I'm not going to be as eloquent as Pat because I haven't prepared anything, but I wanted to build on what he said there. We just heard that, well, we've seen in the diagrams that the entrance, or sorry, the 8th Street side of the building is going to have these wonderful street front cafes, and it's going to be a great place to just hang out, have a coffee, for people to meet and mingle. It's going to be the foyer, as Pat said. Well, how would you feel if you're sitting in one of these street front cafes, and right beside, if you look in this diagrams out in the hall there, right beside the cafe you're sitting in, as you're sitting there on the patio, is these cars going in and out, coming down the hill, making a turn into the parkade. All it'll take is one person making that turn, and you're plowing right through a bunch of pedestrians sitting there. So I would challenge this actually is not a safe choice. As for efficiency, My friend back there, as we were sitting listening, was saying, dig into the street. If you expand the entrance to the parkade on Bigby, you can get down that low, and we heard that it's all about efficiency. If this is going to be a jewel, an icon for New Westminster, the foyer for the city, the beginning of this new renaissance of downtown New Westminster, efficiency isn't what we should be looking at. We should be looking at doing it right, doing it for the next 50, 100 years, so that we have this pedestrian-friendly corridor along 8th Street, right across from the SkyTrain station, blending into what we've already seen for Plaza 88, as well as this multi-level open plaza. It would be a fantastic place, something that would draw people to New Westminster, would draw development, would draw people wanting to live in this area. So efficiency is nice, but when it comes to making a decision for the next 100 years, efficiency should not necessarily be your criteria for making that decision. So I would challenge you to push to make sure that you do this right, you think this through, you think how it is going to be used by people over the next 100 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions? I can guarantee you, sir, we will be speaking about it again. We've already gone through it many times, but we'll take your information and we'll go back with it.